Liberty or Death rally.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocky tread glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Awesome, awesome. And that is how you kick off an event. Hello, my fellow Spokanite Patriots. My name is Tad Howard, co-founder of Spokane Conceal Carry Group. I want to start off by thanking everyone who helped to organize this event. Chris Evola, the founder of Spokane Conceal Carry. John Val, CEO of AP3 Zone 8. Secondly, I want to thank our guest speakers for taking the time to be here with us today. Mike Fagan, Spokane City Councilman, District 1. Matt Shea, Washington State Representative, District 4. Robin Ball, owner of Sharpshooting Indoor Range. Bob McCaslin, Washington State Rep, District 4. Jenny Graham, Washington State Rep candidate, District 6. Matt Hawkins, U.S. Senate candidate. Larry Haskell. G.R. Mobley, author, radio show host. Jeff Stan, the founder of Lightfoot Militia. And Randy Mace, CEO of the 63rd Lightfoot. Thirdly, all those who donated items to today's raffle, Katie Brown and her team at Defensive Reality, Sharpshooting Indoor Range, all the others who wish to remain anonymous, we thank you. Thank you for supporting us, and all the proceeds of this raffle are going to go towards future events, every single dime. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of you who are in attendance here today. For you are America's true patriots, and you are freedom's last line of defense. We've got such an awesome lineup of speakers here today, and I think I speak for us all when I say I'm excited to hear their thoughts and words of wisdom on today's topic, which is the Initiative 1639. But before we get started into going through our guest speaker list, I'd like everyone to consider going and getting some raffle tickets. We've got awesome range day items, we got some gear, we've got firearms training vouchers, And we're going to be giving all those away. We're going to do a raffle in between speakers. So the speaker intermissions, we'll draw a name from the raffle and be giving away some great prizes here today. We also have a voter registration form. The first people who sign up to become a registered voter, if you're not yet already a registered voter, the first 4 people who sign up will get their name thrown into the raffle. And we've got some Spokane Concealed Carry membership cards. If you want to join the Spokane Concealed Carry group, that comes with great business discounts, local business discounts. We got some shirts and coffee, all sorts of good stuff over there, so make sure you go check that out. For those of you who chose to open carry today, I'd ask that you make sure your rifles are in ready condition too. Please be aware of the direction of your muzzles at all times. If anyone should need to use the restrooms, these restrooms here were supposed to be open today, but they're not. So about halfway down the field, they are now open. Well, we're good to go then. They do what? Oh. Somebody brought the chop saw out, huh? So, with all that behind us now, let's jump right into why we're all here. Initiative 1639. It's been thrown out. As of yesterday in court, judge threw it out.
Yeah.
At the forefront of that fight in our home state was the Second Amendment Foundation, Alan Gottlieb, Robin Ball, and the NRA. These people and foundations deserve a big thank you. As most of you are all aware at this point, the Initiative 1639 has been declared ineligible to be included on this November's ballot, I'm pretty sure. This is a victory for freedom. We now have a chance to catch our breath a little bit. More importantly, we know what these people are after and how much they want to take. As a matter of fact, they wanted to change so much with this single initiative that they were forced to reduce the size of their font to a non-legible size in order to fit it on the back of the initiative. This was the legal ground on which 1639 was able to be defeated. But with the courts, what the courts were not able to review was the moral standards in which this petition had gathered its signatures. It was sponsored by a Seattle-based organization called Allegiance for Gun Responsibility. They spent more than $3 million on signature gathering for this initiative.
Right here.
This massive budget includes signature gatherers from other states
Pictures, taking pictures.
and allowed its signature
That's
gatherers
taking pictures.
to lie and deceive the signers into thinking that they were signing $30 vehicle tabs or no grocery tax petitions. They went about it in a totally immoral and downright shameful way, doing whatever it took to gain as many signatures as possible with total disregard of the Washington state petition process and its laws. So in essence, they threw a handful of pickle slices at the wall and not a single one of them stuck. So as we celebrate today, let us also continue to educate others about this initiative, as well as prepare for the ruling to be appealed in court. We've won this battle, but the fight will be lifelong. Initiative 1639, it is titled Safe Schools, Safe Communities. But would passing this initiative really make our schools or our communities any safer? I think not. As we dive into this proposed change in legislation, we see its main intent is to restrict firearms sales and accessibility. It proposes enacting a safe storage law, requiring you to store your firearms how the state chooses, increasing the minimum age to buy a modern firearm from 18 to 21, creating an enhanced background check and registration system for all firearms, essentially, as well as imposing a state-mandated completion of firearms courses to be eligible to purchase firearms. So here we have a few major propositions that infringe on not only our Second Amendment, but one of those propositions infringes on both the Second and Fourth Amendments. This should be alarming to not only firearms owners, but all law-abiding citizens. We have given in to restriction after restriction and have yet to see the outstanding results they claim these restrictive laws bring. I say enough is enough. We need to stop proposing more restrictions on firearms, which is only seeking to solve the problem at face value, and start diving into the core of the problem. Initiative 1639 does not keep firearms out of the hands of criminals. It appears only to hinder those who abide by the law. So as per usual, it's nothing more than feel-good legislation. Make no mistake though, fellow Washingtonians, this is a direct attack on the only amendment that ensures our ability to preserve all other amendments. Do you support free speech? Do you support being against unreasonable searches and seizures? If you answered yes, then you better make sure that you are supporting your right to bear arms by voting no on Initiative 1639. That's all I've got for you here today. Those are my thoughts. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to pull a ticket out of the raffle box. We're going to give the first prize package away. And we are going to pull a ticket basically in between each guest speaker. So I'll pull this ticket here. We'll get a lucky winner their wonderful prize. And we'll move on. Fred Lohr. That's our first winner here today. Where are you at, Fred? There he is. You want to head right on over to Ashley and that table there? They'll hook you up with your prize, sir.
Look at that, you just bought that too.
First up on our guest speaker list, we're going to have Mike Fagan. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thank you. And good afternoon, everybody. There are thousands of politicians, bureaucrats, lobbyists, and special interest groups working each and every day to raise your taxes. Shouldn't there be at least one person, one team, one organization that fights to lower your taxes? Well, there is. My name is Mike Fagan. I'm a co-founder and co-director with Jack Fagan, my father over there under the tree, and Tim Eyman from Mercantile. We are Voters Want More Choices. For the last 19 years, we've been battling state and some local governments advocating on behalf of the taxpayers. And folks, according to the state's Office of Financial Management, Voters Want More Choices has saved you and other taxpayers across Washington state over 19 years almost $41 billion. Now, yesterday was an exciting day for those of us in Washington that respect and appreciate the Second Amendment. After spending over $4.1 million on that campaign, the sponsors of I-1639 were handed a great big stinky turd by a West Side judge. It was obvious the petitions for the Anti-Gun Rights Initiative were really screwed up. And many didn't think that the court would do anything about it. Justifiably, we are all very skeptical about judges and the courts here in the state of Washington. So, Judge Dixon booted this liberal initiative off the ballot, and it surprised a lot of folks. But I'll tell you something, folks, we had faith that it would go our way. Why? It's because we knew a few things that other folks did not. We're proud to say that Voters Want More Choices helped connect superstar attorneys Joel Ard and David DeWolf with Alan Gottlieb's Second Amendment Foundation to handle this litigation. Ard and DeWolf are a dream team of constitutional legal talent. We are incredibly fortunate to have them on our side here, ladies and gentlemen. We read the legal briefs by everybody involved, Ard and DeWolf's arguments were brilliant, clear, and compelling. But even more impactful was the brief and the declarations by our Secretary of State, Kim Wyman. She made it abundantly clear to the court that she was extremely concerned about the dangerous precedent that this would have set to have a consequence-free, lawless initiative process. The judge went out of his way to say, the court finds that the Secretary of State did exactly what she was required to do.
How's it going, brother?
Now, is I-1639 dead this year?
Thank you. Kind of disappointing.
We think so.
I know.
Because I'm telling you, folks, it would take a miracle
I promoted it too.
in order to get this before the state Supreme Court by the end of this month, kind of akin to that last second Hail Mary pass in the end zone to win the Super Bowl.
Maybe, yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
Let's go right here. Listed Cummings. He's definitely against.
Now, for 19 years, our initiative efforts have consistently received the highest level of scrutiny
Definitely in opposition.
by opponents, the media, by the courts, and by politicians.
Yeah, I told him, I said, hey,
A microscope is put on absolutely everything that Voters Want More Choices does. Any undotted I or uncrossed T, and boy, I'll tell you, it is over. But when it comes to bringing back our $30 car tax, our formula has been tried and true. Homo News out of Seattle ran an informal poll,
That's what's good about us.
and 85% of the respondents want their $30 tax. In July, Tim Ivan and I went to Olympia, where we announced that we had over 202,000 signatures in hand, folks. We need more. We need your help.
Well, I got a couple.
We've got a petition table set up over there underneath the tree. You can take petitions with you, get with your friends, family, co-workers, congregation members, etc. Love, cherish, and respect this initiative process that our state constitution has given to us.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, voters have twice passed initiatives capping vehicle registration
More
charges.
Proud Boys too.
There was somebody here.
Those charges, car tabs, and $30 a year. And for about 15 years, we've succeeded at getting them lower. But recently,
Ricky,
state and
yeah,
local
yeah,
governments have jacked them up again. Worst of all, and I'm referring to the Puget Sound's ST3 now, folks. Worst of all,
That bathroom's open.
they're dishonestly calculating the value of our vehicles to artificially inflate the taxes that we are forced to pay. Just like saying a $10,000 truck is worth $25,000, that's fraud, folks. But they're continuing to do it because nobody has given taxpayers a way to fight back. Well, like I said, folks, Voters Want More Choices is giving you a way to fight back right now, today, and all you got to do is help yourself. Taxpayers have been
Can't wait to
screaming
hear
at
this guy
politicians
right
for
here.
years
Was
about
it
this
Mr.
injustice.
Ted Cummings?
And during the last two legislative sessions, all we have gotten are baby step bills and broken promises.
Oh yeah, he is.
They're just talking. They're not doing
This
anything.
was one of their events.
So
They wouldn't
Initiative
let us-
976,
So that's how.
the current $30 tab initiative,
But
folks,
that's cool. You guys got
fixes that.
speech.
We get rid of the vehicle taxes and fees imposed since our earlier $30 tab initiative passed, and it explicitly repeals that dishonest vehicle valuation schedule. So it'll cost you and your friends and family just $30 a year to license your cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, motorcycles, and other vehicles. Can you say this with me, folks? $30 means $30. What do you say?
$30 means $30. Yes.
Thank you, and everybody enjoy your afternoon.
It doesn't mean $1 million. It means $30. Look at this. We got the news here. Oh yeah. We got Kathy McMorris Rogers.
How do you dress in truck?
And we got.
Okay, Mike Fagan, thank you for coming out here and speaking. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's do another raffle ticket.
only voice on the Spokane City Council.
Everybody's made their
Fortunately,
rounds,
the rest of the
raffle
city
table, right?
council's full of
Lots of good
libtards,
stuff over
basically.
here, folks. Run, 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 run.
Is my battery? Jeremy Graham. Let's walk
Oh,
around.
man, watch out.
There's my fellow crab boy over here, Joshua.
Wagner!
Woo!
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Chris, what the hell?
Go ahead and meet either Brittany or Ashley over there at the table. They'll hook you up with the prize, brother.
Chris Wagner won something.
Going on down the speaker list,
Man,
Matt Shea will be speaking next. Thank you for coming out here today, man.
Chris won something, you lucky bastard.
Lucky. What size shirt do you need? Double X, because my 2X large are a little bit tight. That's why I didn't wear one. What's that? The extra large are a little too tight. Oh. You have a double X? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And that's where we get our rights from as well.
This
Our
is
unalienable rights.
Mike Shea's
And it's
competition.
interesting to me that the same debate the Founding Fathers were having on unalienable rights, we're having again today. And I realized a long time ago as a student of history that there is a common theme among Marxism and tyranny. And it is always to disarm the people. I want to talk real quick about the Irish penal laws in the late 1600s, for those that don't know history, where they said, the British, that the Irish couldn't have swords, the Irish had to not speak as loudly publicly. I mean, if there was Twitter back then, they would have banned them from Twitter. The Irish were not allowed to own a lot of property. In fact, my ancestors' property was seized. And then you go into the Native Americans. The same thing happened. You talk to the Ukrainians and the Slavic population here in Spokane, and the same thing happened. You talk to a lot of other people from around the world, and the common theme is they took our right to bear arms. And oh, by the way, at about the same time when people started to protest, they tried to take our free speech as well. And the great part about this rally is we stand for both. We stand for both. And I'll tell you right now that I believe the Constitution means what it says, that our right to bear arms shall not be infringed. In Article 1, Section 24 of the state constitution, our right to bear arms shall not be impaired, means exactly what it says. Amen. And here's the great part about it. If we believe that everyone is created equal, doesn't matter your ethnicity, doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter who your parents are, and we believe that, then God-given unalienable rights of life, liberty, property, the ability to defend the same, can also never be taken away unless we allow them to be taken away. And the great also part about that is that it is the most inclusive thing to defend those rights, because those rights are what help protect people and make everyone equal and treated equally under the law.
Yes, they are.
All right, I'm going to get a little fiery. I'm tired of the media, and I'm tired of those on the left saying that God-given unalienable rights don't seem to matter.
Let's hold them accountable.
Let's hold them accountable. Let's call it out publicly. They're the ones that are defending tyranny. And by the way, Marxism has never ended in anything else. Let's be unashamed about that.
True.
I don't care if they ban us from Twitter. I don't care if they ban us
Democrats
from Facebook and Tumblr and
think that
YouTube,
socialism
whatever
is
else.
so cool now.
As long as we have each other, and as
Disgusting.
long as we have good patriot places on the internet to go, they will never silence us, will they? They will never silence us.
Never silence us. That's okay. right.
I want to take a moment, too, to thank a few
Target
people.
parade.
First of all, I want to thank our law enforcement. We support them wholeheartedly. Also, if you're a veteran, raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause as well. I want to thank you especially for going overseas, for shedding the blood, the sweat, and the tears, and then coming here today to continue to uphold your oath.
Amen.
I want to share a story with you. My wife came from Ukraine. Good friend of mine named Waleed. I helped come out of Iraq and then Syria with his family because he helped us on a base camp over there. And it was interesting when I talked to both of them. I asked my wife, and I said, why did you come to America? What is the reason you came to America? And without hesitating, freedom. It is the only place in the world where you can talk about issues of the day and not worry about the police breaking down your door. It's the only place in the world where you have the right to bear arms no matter what, not conditionally. And it's interesting, too, that Waleed, he said the same thing. And they were from two completely different worlds. One was a Muslim world, one was a Christian world. That common theme, that freedom, that common theme, that we have the right to bear arms as the final check and balance against tyranny, it resonates throughout the world, it resonates in our heart, because that idea was given to us by God. And that is what I take courage in. Now, I want to end with this. A lot of people in the media, some people even here today, have come out publicly and tried to smear other people. Okay? Tried to tell in the media that certain individuals are not who they say they are. Try to smear them without any facts. Try to put innuendo and implication in their articles and in their editorials.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you something about that. We can't become those dirty, godless, hateful people.
No, we can't.
We have to uphold free speech no matter what.
Yes, we do.
And by the way, the antidote to that slander and defamation is always truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
You with me on that? It's always truth.
Always true.
So today I want to leave you with this idea. That just like 1639 was thrown out because there was allegations of deception, put the font so small, us older folks, and I guess I can say that because I wear glasses now, couldn't read it. Thrown out because they didn't follow the proper protocols. That's going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to win because truth is on our side. And all we have to do is stand up for it, no matter who is slandering us, no matter who is threatening our job, no matter who is being violent in Portland, Oregon on the left, no matter who is doing that. We just need to stand without wavering on the truth.
Amen.
And not take one step backward. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Not take one step backward. Are you with me? Not take one step backward. Are you with me? And that is what America is all about. And that is what we can teach our friends and neighbors. God bless you all and thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Another raffle ticket. Man, I'm excited. These are awesome. William Frazier, where you at? Go ahead and meet the gals over there at the table. They'll hook you up.
Proud boy just won something. Proud boy.
Next up on our guest speaker list, we're going to have Robin Ball speak. She's speaking on behalf of Kathy McMorris Rogers here today and her campaign. So let's give Robin a big hand.
This Ted Cummings really wants to speak right here. Interesting.
All right, thank you for coming out here today, Robin.
Thanks thank you so much for having me. I can't believe you put me up after Matt Shea. I mean, seriously, I have to follow that
Somebody's
act?
got to go
Oh, my goodness. I am here on behalf of Kathy McMorris Rogers' campaign. We are looking for lots of help, so I hope that we can get you as fired up as Matt got you fired up.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about what you don't hear about Kathy unless you're in contact with her. I've been in the firearms business now 23 years.
Woo!
Kathy has been one of my best friends in that industry. She has never taken a bad gun vote, whether she was at the State House or whether she's been in Congress. Never taken a bad vote on firearms. She has signed on to the Hearing Protection Act. She supported the National Right to Carry Act. She cannot do it by herself. But we should be really excited about the fact that she's been a 4th congressional. That is good for the 5th Congressional District. And I hear comments made all the time about, well, I don't like the fact that she's standing with Paul Ryan. Are you kidding me, people? She's got a seat at the table.
Yeah.
She's got that seat at the table for us. Then I hear complaints about, well, she's not supporting President Trump. She's supporting you. She represents you in the 5th Congressional District. And sometimes we disagree. She holds her own for us. She has done a fabulous job.
She better
I will
support
tell you
Trump.
that
That's
school
all I gotta
safety
say.
for all of Congress is
will have lots of
top
problems.
of the list of things to talk about. And the other side of the aisle wants to talk about taking your guns away.
Yeah.
There is no other answer. They just want your guns. And they're going to pick at your rights at every level. And instead, Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers signed onto the school safety bill to get resources for schools to protect our kids, in my case, grandkids in school. It is so important that we return her to Congress. On 1639, we think that it's going to stay off the ballot. We don't definitively know that because the appeal was filed, but we think it will stay off the ballot. At the state level, you guys, I don't know if you're paying attention to primary results, but we need every one of you out there working and knocking on doors and calling your friends and making sure they vote. The November election always hits during hunting season.
We
You
need
guys
to vote.
going out in the field? Mail your damn ballot before you go.
Yep.
Do not forget to do that. Do you know us taxpayers are all paying for that? There's no postage required. Do not wait to vote. Get your votes in early and make sure your friends going out in the field with you do the same thing.
Amen.
If you're watching Mike Fagan, I don't know where you went, but you rock on city council, man. We have
Oh,
one
yeah,
really
Mike
good
Fagan.
voice in the city of Spokane.
The only
You are
voice.
watching
The rest are a bunch of
into the
libtards.
sewer with the city of Spokane. It is, yes, the Lone Ranger, amen to that. It is critical that we work within the city of Spokane and the county of Spokane.
Dude, that's badass.
To re-elect Kathy McMorris Rogers.
Leon, where you going, Mo?
A nice little case.
State candidates that are on the ballot also. Matt Shea, I will tell you, I know I never have to call Matt and encourage him to vote the right way. That is a waste of his time. That is a waste of my time. He is always on the right side of the gun issue. So does everybody understand why it would be so awesome to be the majority, Republican majority in Olympia?
That'd be great.
Because the majority gets to pick the chairmanships.
Yep.
Now, I love having Matt on the House Judiciary Committee, but I would love him more if he was the chair of the House Judiciary Committee.
Yeah. Let's get him there.
Yeah.
It is not always just about the individual.
Hell yeah.
You may have disagreements. I didn't bring my husband today, but I can safely say we don't always agree on everything.
Yeah.
We may have some disagreements.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But at the end of the day, the party platform fits my values more than the Democrat platform does. And I want the Republicans in control.
Throw up.
So that we have, that gives